Faccio una piccola introduzione, la faccio in inglese visto che abbiamo degli speaker che sono internazionali, quindi giusto per essere polite con i nostri special guest. All right, thanks everybody for being here. It's kind of, super pleasure for having you here. So I would like to start with saying thank you, right? So most of the people do like a presentation and then they conclude with thank you. I would do actually the opposite. So I would say thanks to you, thanks for being here. So we had this idea to create this event something like maybe 6 months ago, 5 months ago. So when I came up with this idea, everybody was telling me, okay, dude, are you crazy? I mean, are you going to set up another conference in Bergamo? I mean, we are not in Rome, right? We are not in Milan, we are in Bergamo. You want to have a conference, you want to have your conference in English, in Italy, where no one speaks English, not good, it's going to be a big failure. But I was pretty lucky, so we created a group of people, actually they're part of a local hack club, and the guys here with a green t-shirt, and everybody helped somehow to a certain extent. So thanks a lot to the organizers in believing into this project. Thanks to you for being here. As the first edition, we have something like 500 registered people and more than 150 that unsubscribed because they couldn't come. So overall, we had something like 650 registered, which is pretty good, I think. And thanks, of course, for the speakers for being here. We have a very important person here on the front line. I hope you will like the lineup. Thanks for them for being here and believing in the event, of course. When you get invited to a conference and the conference didn't exist, so you say, okay, should I go, should I not go, So thanks for you guys for being here. Of course, thanks to the sponsor, the conference, at least this year is free entrance, and the room costs a lot. So without the sponsor, it would have been impossible. So take a time to go out, talk with the sponsor, and we also have some job openings that are listed just out of the door. So if you're looking for a job, in the security domain, take a look at the bacheca, so just outside of the door. So the question would be, why no hat? So we came up with this name at the beginning because it was kind of cool, but then we realized, okay, probably, there should be a meaning behind why it's called no hat. So most of you know what could be like a white hat. So when you think of a white hat, you think at the student, typical student from a computer science, like very clever, very intelligent, that want to really get into the security industry. And what happened most of the time is that you have like this very smart, very clever person that get hired by companies or agency that you'd say, okay, like if you take a government, a national agency, it could be, for example, NSA, you might say, okay, is run by the government, so it should be like a legitimate entity. So you have these people working there, but to a certain extent, they might, for example, go into a direction where they might, for example, be asked to look for 0 days, look for new vulnerabilities, and maybe write also tool for cyber surveillance and espionage. So the question would be, okay, so is a legitimate organization giving them a job, they're regularly paid, to different extension, but then they look for vulnerabilities in new code, in unpublished code, in proprietary code. They might sell the vulnerability to another state. So it's questionable whether this is really what we believe is white hat. So is it really white or not? On the other side of the fence, there is, of course, the black hat. When you think of black hat, you think a typical, this could be like Eastern Europe criminals that, I don't know, like install a ransomware on computer to ransom and ask for money, or they install a Trojan on your mobile phone to steal your bank credential. On the other side, you might have, for example, what could be like a black hat, but actually is just a kid that it might be, for example, an activist that is against, for example, the illegal massive fishing of tuna in the Mediterranean Sea. You all know that, there are not many fishes around, especially tuna in the Mediterranean Sea, because Japanese, for example, are fishing a lot. So on the Japanese market, if you go to Tokyo and you wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning, you can visit the fish market. There are these big tuna that are sold in the fish market. So you might have people that are against this massive and abuse of fishing in the Mediterranean Sea. At that point, you could have like these kids that is having his beer, looking for vulnerabilities in the web page of one of these fishing company, and maybe hacking the homepage, doing what's called defacement, so replacing the homepage with a message, say, for protesting, for saying, we don't agree with this. So is this really a black hat? I don't know, right? So where is the border between what is white and what is black? So at the end, this came up like you say, it doesn't matter, which kind of hat you have. It doesn't matter. So we tend to put the people in boxes, like I'm a certified ethical hacker because I ran the certification. Okay, dude, so you're certified. Okay, so you have your label on, but at the end, it's just a label. So we believe what is important is to learn, become an expert, and be passionate in what you do, and you follow your own ethics at the end. We all have an ethics, like as a professional or as a person. So you have to share, you have your own ethics, and you have to share your belief with the others. And this is what really matters. So let me give a bit of a summary of what we have on the plate today. So what about our menu? So we start in the morning with a session that are a bit more technical compared with what we have in the afternoon. So the morning we have Daniel opening with the first keynote. He's giving a session on micro-architectural attacks. So this dude found a lot of very cool vulnerabilities related to how processor works. So he's talking about hardware security, if you want, and this goes as much in line with what Andrea will be following up and what Federico will be also building up. We'll have also talk on malware, advanced malware techniques. We have Alexandre coming from São Paulo, Brazil. He flew basically from Brazil yesterday, and he's here for us today to present about that. And then we have talks about on vulnerabilities, so how to find vulnerabilities, how to exploit vulnerabilities. The afternoon is a bit more less technical and is more into the domain of how cybercrime works, how cybercriminals are organized. For example, what about, for example, hacking forums where they share information, where they sell exploits, 0 days, and so on and so forth. We have Stefano Zanero opening the keynote in the afternoon. He will be talking about security conferences and in general the security community, how the community looks like. We are part of a security community, so how the community looks like, how the professionals are organized, how the research is made, and so on and so forth. We discuss about, we have the other Stefano, one of the oldest ethical hacker in Italy. He will be talking about the Italian scene. So how did we start in Italy with hacking, how the hacking scene evolved over the years. So we're talking again about communities, security communities, and then we'll have also additional talk about security competition. So how competition could help in improving the understanding and the learning of security. And of course, we'll conclude with a social event. So hope you guys will all join us. We'll have a few details in the afternoon, but we'll basically rent a full pub, which is just here in front of the conference center. There is a capacity for 250 people, 300 people. So I guess we'll probably fill up the pub. It's free entrance. We bought food thanks to the club, the King Club. If you want to contribute with a donation, you are free to contribute, but in any case, you are all welcome. And of course, remember to learn and share. We say sharing is caring, so it's very important to share what you know with the others. That's why on your badge you have a field called interest that you are asked to fill up with your interest. So if you are passionate about web security, you might want to say web security. If you work as a malware reverser, you might want to write malware reverser. So remember to write up what your interests are and to share with your neighbor. So I would like to conclude by asking you to introduce to your neighbor. So I would like you to shake hands with your neighbor on the right. To introduce yourself. So I'd like to have you contributing to the event. Don't be shy, make questions to the speakers. Have time to meet the speakers around today. Have a time to learn, because this is what Noet is all about. It's about you sharing what you have with the others and learn from the others. So thanks a lot, and I would say it's time to start, and thanks again for being here.